The divine call, a message for the chosen ones. Heaven has paused its rhythm to speak directly to your soul. This isn't an accident, nor a coincidence. It's a divine appointment written before time began. You didn't stumble upon this message by chance. You were summoned. Every sound that reaches your ears right now has been orchestrated from the throne room of God. Heaven itself is leaning close, whispering into the atmosphere of your life. This is your moment. For too long you've wandered in silence, asking in the quiet of your heart, God, what now? What's next? The waiting, the stillness, the unanswered prayers, they were not signs of abandonment but preparation. Heaven has been aligning what your eyes could not see, arranging divine details in the background while you stood wondering if you had been forgotten. You were never forgotten. You were being forged. The pressure you felt was purpose in disguise. The pain you carried was the shaping hand of destiny. Now the shift has begun. What was once heavy will feel light. What was once hidden will be revealed. You are standing at the threshold of transformation. Heaven is moving, and this time it's personal. The Spirit of God is calling you out of passivity, out of hesitation, into divine partnership. God will not drag you, He invites you. He asks for your obedience, not your convenience. When He says move, move. When He says speak, speak. For what's coming is too sacred to treat casually. This is the season of divine acceleration. What took others years to build will bloom for you in moments. The delay was never a denial, it was divine timing. God has been working behind closed doors, preparing you for an unveiling that will shock even you. Last season's tears watered the ground for this season's harvest. The wilderness was your classroom. The waiting was your anointing. Every battle you fought in secret was training for this public victory. Do not fear the warfare, for the opposition you feel is confirmation that you're on heaven's radar. The enemy does not attack the ordinary, he attacks the anointed. But remember this, what God has ordained cannot be undone. What He has spoken cannot be silenced. Like David facing Goliath, you're not coming with physical strength, you're coming with covenant. And covenant makes you unstoppable. The storm you thought would destroy you is the same storm that will announce your arrival. Heaven is unlocking doors that no man can shut. Hidden gifts are awakening within you. Divine connections are aligning, and resources are being released from places you didn't even know existed. The hand of God is positioning you for influence, for impact, for legacy. This is not just about blessing, it's about becoming. You are not merely entering a new chapter, you are becoming the evidence of what God can do with a surrendered heart. So rise, chosen one. The heavens are open and the fire of purpose is falling upon you. Every chain of delay is breaking. Every shadow of fear is dissolving. This is your appointed time. Step forward with faith that moves mountains, with worship that shakes atmospheres, with obedience that opens heaven. You were chosen for this hour, not to blend in but to burn bright. The world is waiting for the sound of your awakening. Heaven has spoken, now it's your move. The shift of seasons, the time of preparation has ended. You can feel it in your spirit, the air around you has changed. What once felt like endless waiting now carries the scent of breakthrough. The winds of heaven are shifting, announcing that the time of preparation has come to an end. Every hidden lesson, every sleepless night, every silent prayer has built the foundation for this very moment. What once felt like stillness was never stagnation, it was divine alignment. Heaven was preparing the soil of your heart for a harvest you could not yet see. God says, the season of hiding is over. You have been refined, tested, and purified in the fire of endurance. What others mistook for delay was divine design. You were being equipped in secret so that when the light found you, you would be ready. Heaven does not release power without process, and your process has now produced power. The silence that once felt unbearable was the sound of heaven building strength within you. Every "not yet" from God was actually a "wait, I'm making it perfect." The shift is not coming, it's already here. The atmosphere is changing because heaven has issued a new command over your life. Move forward. The doors that refused to open will now swing wide because the timing is right. The resistance that once exhausted you is breaking because the purpose behind it has been fulfilled. What used to feel like confusion will now make sense in the clarity of revelation. The wilderness you walked through was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to define you. You are crossing from preparation into manifestation. The curtain that separated what you hoped for from what you can now hold is being lifted. You are no longer being trained for the promise, you are stepping into it. The promises that once seemed distant are now standing at your doorstep, knocking. You have graduated from the classroom of waiting to the field of purpose. Heaven is announcing your promotion. This is the divine pivot, the turning of seasons where your prayers become reality and your tears become testimonies. What once drained you will now deliver you. What once hurt you will now help you. Every wound will become wisdom. Every delay will turn into acceleration. God has not been still, He has been strategic. The things that once broke you are now the very things that qualify you. The time for questioning has ended. The time for moving has begun. Heaven's calendar has turned in your favor. You are no longer waiting for open doors, you are walking through them. The preparation has done its work. The shaping is complete. You are no longer the version of yourself that began the journey. You have been refined, restored, and reborn. Now step forward, chosen one. The season has changed and so have you. The invitation to partner with heaven. Heaven is not moving without you. God has not called you to be a spectator of His miracles, but a participant in His divine movement. The Creator of the universe extends His hand toward you and whispers, "Walk with me." This is not a season of passive faith, it is a season of partnership. The plans of heaven require your obedience, your yes, your willingness to move even when the path is not yet visible. God does not force partnership, He invites it. He will not drag you into destiny, He will draw you toward it. The question is not whether heaven is ready, but whether you are willing. The voice of God is calling you into synchronization with His will. Every delay you experienced was heaven waiting for your alignment. When your heart says yes, the atmosphere begins to shift. When you obey the whisper, creation responds. This is why obedience is not optional, it's the language heaven understands. The miracles you've prayed for are not waiting on God's power, they are waiting on your participation. You are not powerless, you are a co-laborer with the King of Kings. When you move, heaven moves with you. Partnership with heaven demands trust. God will not always show you the full picture, but He will give you a step. And that step, though small, carries the weight of divine momentum. When He says move, move. When He says be still, rest. When He says speak, open your mouth, for your voice carries heaven's authority. This partnership is not built on perfection but on surrender. Heaven does not require that you have all the answers. It only asks that you stay aligned with the one who does. You have been chosen to be a vessel, a bridge between the natural and the supernatural. Through your obedience, God releases power. Through your humility, He releases favor. Through your faith, He releases miracles. Every time you act in alignment with heaven, something shifts on earth. Angels respond to faith. Barriers crumble before belief. The world changes when one soul decides to walk in rhythm with divine purpose. Do not underestimate what God can do through you. You are not insignificant, and your obedience is not small. When you say yes to heaven, your yes echoes across eternity. Heaven moves at the speed of faith, and faith is born through surrender. The Creator is not asking for your strength, He is asking for your heart. He desires partnership, not performance. You were never meant to carry the mission alone. You were meant to co-create it with Him. So today, open your spirit and respond to the invitation. Heaven's hand is extended, waiting for yours. This is your moment to align with the divine flow, to become the movement heaven is orchestrating on earth. When you walk in step with God, impossibilities bow, timelines shift, and miracles manifest. You are not walking behind God, you are walking with Him. The invitation stands, radiant and eternal. Partner with heaven and watch creation respond to your obedience. The sacred purpose of your trials, the season of refining was never wasted. Every tear you've cried, every silent battle you've fought, every disappointment that weighed on your spirit, it all had purpose. Heaven wastes nothing. What looked like loss was the shaping of your destiny. What felt like punishment was preparation. Every closed door was not rejection, it was redirection. God has been using the pressure to purify, the loneliness to strengthen, and the silence to sharpen your hearing. The wilderness was never meant to break you, it was designed to build you. You walked through fire, but the fire did not consume you, it refined you. You were pruned so that you could bear fruit that lasts. There were nights when you questioned if heaven still remembered your name, when your prayers echoed without response, when you felt forgotten by the one who promised never to leave. But in those moments, God was closest. His silence was not absence, it was strategy. Like a sculptor who steps back to observe the form of his creation, He was shaping you quietly, deliberately, with eternal precision. He was teaching you how to trust without proof, how to worship without reward, how to walk by faith when sight was gone. That is how true faith is forged, not in comfort but in consecration. You see, the seasons of pain are sacred classrooms where heaven teaches strength. Every challenge refined your discernment. Every heartbreak purified your motives. Every delay deepened your dependence. Without those seasons, you would not carry the wisdom or the authority that now rests upon your life. The crushing you endured produced the oil you will now pour. The very weight that once felt unbearable has prepared you to carry glory. What once was sorrow will soon become your song. And now heaven declares that the refining has done its work. The season of hiddenness is ending, and what was formed in darkness is about to be revealed in light. The tears that watered the ground beneath your feet have made it fertile for miracles. The prayers you thought went unanswered were actually seeds planted in unseen soil, waiting for divine timing to bloom. You are standing in the field you once sowed with pain, and soon you will reap with joy. The wilderness was not a detour, it was the direct route to destiny. So do not despise your scars. They are the evidence of survival and the symbols of strength. They tell heaven's story written upon your life, a story of resilience, redemption, and rebirth. The trials did not disqualify you, they proved you. They revealed what could not be destroyed. And now, as heaven turns the page, God whispers, "Well done, you endured the refining. You didn't quit in the silence. You didn't curse me in the storm. You kept walking." And because of that, the next chapter is no longer about survival. It's about manifestation. What once broke you will now bless you. What once hurt you will now heal others. The season of refining has fulfilled its purpose, and you are stepping into the beauty that only brokenness could birth. The season of divine acceleration, heaven's timing has arrived. You can feel it deep within your spirit. Something has shifted. The heaviness that once clung to your soul is lifting, and the atmosphere around you hums with movement. This is not the slow unfolding of time you once knew. This is divine acceleration. Heaven has pressed fast forward on your destiny. What took others years will happen for you in moments because your preparation has met divine timing. God is not rushing. He is redeeming time. Every delay you faced is now being reversed. Every moment you thought was lost is being restored. and every prayer you whispered is echoing back with multiplied answers. You are stepping into a rhythm where grace moves faster than effort, and favor outruns your striving. The Spirit of God declares, now. Not someday, not later, not when conditions look perfect. Now. The season of waiting has expired, and the appointed time has arrived. Habakkuk's promise lives within you. The vision will not tarry, it will come to pass. You are no longer anticipating breakthrough, you are walking in it. The same hands that once held emptiness will now hold abundance. The same path that once felt blocked will now unfold with divine ease. You will look back and see how every detour led directly to destiny, how every unanswered prayer protected you until the right moment. Heaven's acceleration is not random, it is the reward of endurance. In this season, everything will move with purpose. Doors will open without knocking. Connections will form without striving. Opportunities will chase you because you are aligned with the heartbeat of God. What once seemed impossible is becoming inevitable because heaven has decided it is your time. This acceleration is not merely about speed, it is about synchronization, your steps finally aligned with God's perfect rhythm. Where you once ran and grew weary, now you will glide on grace. Where effort once drained you, favor will now sustain you. You will accomplish in 1 year what once seemed impossible in 10 because heaven's momentum is carrying you forward. But acceleration demands awareness. When heaven moves fast, you must move in obedience, not hesitation. Do not overthink what God has already confirmed. The window is open, the command is clear. Move when He says move, speak when He says speak, build when He says build. Fear will try to slow you down, but faith is your fuel. You are not being propelled by ambition, you are being carried by assignment. Heaven's speed is not chaotic, it is strategic. Every shift, every divine encounter, every sudden opportunity is heaven's choreography moving you into purpose. You will know this acceleration by the signs around you. Peace that makes no sense, open doors that no man could have arranged, favor that introduces you before you arrive. Things that once resisted you will now recognize you. People who once overlooked you will now honor the anointing upon you. You will no longer chase what belongs to you, it will find you. This is the fulfillment of Jeremiah's promise. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Heaven has remembered your name, and time itself is bowing to your calling. So lift your head, chosen one. The wait is over. You are stepping into divine velocity, where the supernatural becomes your normal and miracles move in sequence. Heaven's clock has struck your hour, and everything long delayed is now being delivered. Do not doubt the speed, embrace it. This is not coincidence, it is covenant. The hand of God is upon your life, the wind of heaven is at your back, and your destiny is no longer approaching, it is here. Step boldly, for you are not running ahead of God, you are running with Him. The season of divine acceleration has begun. The spiritual warfare, the battle that confirms your calling. The storms you have faced were never random. Every battle, every sleepless night, every unseen struggle has been evidence that you carry something powerful inside you. You are not under attack because you are weak, you are under attack because you are chosen. The intensity of your warfare is the measure of your anointing. The darkness recognized your light long before you did, and it has been fighting to extinguish it ever since. But the truth is this: the enemy cannot destroy what heaven has ordained. Every weapon formed against you has already been disarmed by the word spoken over your life. The opposition was not meant to crush you, it was meant to confirm you. Ephesians reminds us that we wrestle not against flesh and blood but against spiritual forces of darkness, against powers that fear the awakening of God's chosen ones. You have felt this war in your mind, in your emotions, in your relationships. Those moments when confusion whispered louder than faith, when doubt tried to suffocate destiny, when weariness felt like defeat. Yet even in those moments you stood, maybe trembling, maybe tired, but still standing. That resilience was not your own strength, it was heaven's power sustaining you. The very fact that you are still here, still believing, still pressing forward, is proof that the grace of God has surrounded you in every battle. Understand this, your warfare has purpose. The greater the resistance, the greater the revelation waiting on the other side. God allows the fight not to harm you but to train your hands for war and your heart for victory. You are being equipped to carry authority in realms where others only survive. Every attack sharpened your discernment. Every betrayal refined your boundaries. Every disappointment deepened your dependence on God. You were not losing ground, you were learning strategy. Heaven does not waste warfare. What you conquer privately becomes the authority you carry publicly. Do not fear the enemy's noise. It is a sign that his time is short. He fights hardest when he knows breakthrough is near. Just as David faced Goliath not with a sword but with covenant confidence, you too are armed with something far greater than physical strength. You carry divine promise. The stones in your hand may look small, but they are charged with heaven's precision. Every time you declare God's word, you throw a stone of truth that dismantles deception. Every time you worship in the middle of chaos, you swing the sword of faith that cuts through darkness. You are not a victim of spiritual warfare, you are the weapon. So lift your head and recognize who you are. You are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from victory. The battle has already been won, and your endurance is proof that the enemy failed. Every storm you've endured has only revealed more of the strength that heaven placed within you. What was meant to break you has built you. What was designed to silence you has given you a voice of fire. The warfare was never about your destruction. It was about your revelation. You are emerging from this season not wounded but crowned, not weary but armed, not defeated but dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Hell trembles at the sound of your awakening because it knows. A chosen one who has survived the storm becomes unstoppable. The season of overflow, heaven's abundance, is being released. You have entered a season where scarcity no longer speaks your language. The heavens are open, and divine abundance is pouring out in waves that cannot be measured. This is not a trickle, it is an overflow. The same hands that once reached out in desperation will now overflow with provision. The same heart that once ached from waiting will now expand with gratitude. The drought has ended and the rain of favor has begun. What you once chased is now chasing you, and what you once prayed for is now manifesting before your eyes. God is not giving you barely enough to survive. He is releasing more than enough to transform. The season of lack has fulfilled its purpose. Now begins the season of overflow. This overflow is not limited to material blessings. It begins in the Spirit. Heaven is flooding your life with clarity, with wisdom, with divine understanding. The confusion that clouded your decisions is being washed away by revelation. You will see with new eyes, hear with new discernment, and move with new confidence. The overflow of God's presence will saturate every dry area of your soul until peace becomes your atmosphere. You will wake up feeling lighter, walk feeling guided, and speak feeling empowered, because you are no longer operating from emptiness but from fullness. What once felt like striving will now feel like flowing, for the river of grace has found its course through you. Provision will follow this presence. Heaven is aligning resources with your assignment. People, opportunities, and finances are being positioned for your purpose. The doors that once remained shut are now opening without effort because your name has been written on them by divine instruction. God is sending help you didn't ask for, favor you didn't expect, and blessings you didn't earn. Not because of your performance but because of His promise. You are stepping into Ephesians 3 verse 20 reality, abundantly above all that you could ask or imagine. The blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. This is not reward for endurance, it is inheritance through covenant. But remember, this overflow is not meant to stop with you. It is meant to move through you. You are being transformed into a vessel of multiplication. The same way oil filled the widow's jars when she poured, your abundance will increase as you give. Every act of generosity will ripple through eternity. Every prayer, every seed, every moment of kindness will become a wave of grace that touches others. You will see lives change because you chose to live open-handed. You are no longer just blessed, you are becoming a blessing. The overflow upon your life will awaken overflow in others. And as this abundance flows, humility must anchor you. Remember where you came from, remember who sustained you in the desert, and remember that every good thing is a reflection of his mercy. Do not fear the abundance, embrace it with reverence. It is proof that God trusts you with more because he knows you will use it for his glory. The overflow is not a finish line, it is a commissioning. Heaven is positioning you as a conduit of impact, influence, and transformation. Everything you touch will begin to grow. Everything connected to you will begin to live. The season of overflow is here, and it carries not just prosperity but purpose. Walk in it boldly, with gratitude as your crown and generosity as your banner, for heaven has declared, the time of fullness has come. Becoming the living evidence, the revelation of your true identity. You are no longer waiting for transformation, you have become it. The process you once despised has sculpted the truest version of you, the one heaven always knew. Every hidden season, every tear, every act of obedience and silence has revealed the divine blueprint written within your soul. You are not stepping into a new identity, you are awakening to the one that has been there all along, the chosen, refined, and appointed vessel of God. What you once thought disqualified you was actually what made you distinct. The cracks in your story are where his light now shines the brightest. You are no longer defined by what broke you, but by what built you through the breaking. Heaven is unveiling you now, not as a survivor, but as a carrier of glory. You have moved from merely receiving grace to becoming a demonstration of it. Your life is no longer a collection of moments, it is a testimony in motion. You are the evidence that God still restores the lost, elevates the unseen, and redeems what was once considered impossible. Every step you take now carries the fragrance of redemption. Every word you speak releases the authority of your assignment. You are not walking into favor, you are walking as favor. The world will look at you and see the reflection of divine craftsmanship, proof that heaven still writes beauty out of ashes. Your journey has not been wasted, for everything you have endured has been stitched into your calling. The pain became prophecy, the struggle became strategy, and the silence became strength. You were being hidden not for punishment but for preservation. God was protecting what he was perfecting. And now the time of unveiling has come. The light of destiny is finding you, and you will no longer have to strive to be seen. Heaven itself is announcing you. What was once obscurity will now become visibility, not for your glory but for his. You are not rising by reputation, you are rising by revelation. Do not fear this new level of visibility, for it is not fame, it is function. You are being placed on platforms not to be admired, but to activate. Your voice will awaken others, your story will heal, your obedience will ignite faith where hope once died. You are becoming a walking answer to someone else's prayer. The anointing that rests on you is not for performance, it is for purpose. Every miracle God performs through you will not point to your greatness but to his. You are the living evidence that surrender invites resurrection, that brokenness invites beauty, that faith truly moves mountains. So step into this unveiling with confidence anchored in humility. Do not shrink back out of false modesty, and do not rush ahead out of pride. Simply walk in the rhythm of grace. Let your presence carry peace, let your voice carry truth, and let your actions carry love. You are not just part of God's story, you are one of His signatures in the earth, a living letter written by His Spirit. Every day you wake is another page of testimony being written through you. The world does not need another sermon. It needs your story. Be the evidence that faith still works, that grace still redeems, and that God still chooses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. You are the manifestation of His promise, the reflection of His glory, and the proof that heaven's hand never lets go. The prayer of commissioning, the awakening of purpose and fire. Heaven bends low when a heart says yes. The moment you surrender, the atmosphere shifts and eternity takes notice. This is not a quiet invitation anymore, it is a divine commissioning. You are being sent forth not as who you were, but as who you have become. The waiting season has matured you, the refining has equipped you, now the Spirit breathes life into your assignment. Heaven's fire is descending not to consume you, but to empower you. The same power that raised Christ from the dead now rises within you, igniting your voice, your purpose, your destiny. You are no longer standing at the edge of promise, you are crossing into fulfillment. This is the sacred moment where calling turns into movement, and purpose becomes action. Let the prayer of your heart be simple and pure. Father, I am ready. Let it echo beyond words, vibrating through every fiber of your being. Heaven responds to surrender faster than it responds to striving. God is not asking you to be perfect. He is asking you to be available. His presence is filling every empty space you once tried to fill on your own. Every fragment of fear is being burned away by the holy fire of courage. Every hesitation is being replaced with holy boldness. You will move with confidence not because you know every step, but because you trust the one who orders them. The Spirit of God is clothing you with strength, adorning you with wisdom, and sealing you with purpose. As you rise in prayer, heaven rises with you. Angels are being dispatched not because you demanded it, but because you aligned with heaven's mission. The words that leave your lips now carry creative authority. They do not just request change, they release it. Every prayer you whisper becomes a seed of transformation in the earth. Every declaration you make becomes a doorway for miracles to enter. When you pray from identity, not insecurity, heaven moves swiftly. You are not begging for breakthrough, you are commanding it through covenant. The fire within you is not emotional, it is eternal. It is the same flame that burned in Moses when he heard the call, in Esther when she risked her life, in David when he faced the giant. That fire is now awakening in you. The time for silent belief has ended. This is the hour of active faith. Speak life over what has died. Prophesy to the dry places of your destiny. Lay hands on your dreams and call them back to life. Heaven's language is faith, and your obedience is its echo on earth. Do not pray small prayers when you serve a limitless God. Ask boldly, move fearlessly, and live surrendered. You have been given authority not to boast, but to bless. You have been filled not just to overflow, but to pour. Every step you take in obedience will cause the ground beneath you to awaken. Revival will follow your movement because you are moving with heaven. And as you lift your hands, let the fire fall. Let the Spirit cleanse, fill, and commission you again. You are no longer the one waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle walking. The words you speak will carry healing. The places you enter will carry light. The lives you touch will carry transformation. This is more than a moment of prayer. It is a divine exchange. Heaven gives you power, and you give heaven your yes. You were chosen not just to hear God's voice, but to carry it into the world. So rise now, chosen one. Lift your face to the light. The heavens are open, the fire is falling, and your commission is sealed. You are the voice, the vessel, and the victory of God in motion. The call to action: Rise, chosen one, the world is waiting. This is the moment everything has been leading to. Heaven has spoken, the fire has fallen, and now it is your turn to move. You have prayed, you have waited, you have endured the silence, and through it all, you have been transformed. What once felt like delay was divine preparation. What once felt like breaking was divine birthing. The heavens are open over you now, and the time for hesitation is gone. You were not anointed to hide. You were anointed to shine. The world is not waiting for another sermon, another voice, or another dreamer. It is waiting for you. The chosen one, awakened, equipped, and ablaze with holy purpose. The Spirit of God has written your name into this exact moment in history, not to observe what He is doing, but to participate in it. Rise, not as who you were, but as who you have become, an instrument of light in a world that has forgotten what light feels like. You carry the fire that can't be quenched, the peace that can't be shaken, and the authority that can't be stolen. This is not about position or prestige, it's about presence. The presence you carry will shift rooms, heal hearts, and awaken faith where hope once died. When you step into places others fear to go, heaven steps with you. You are not moving alone, you are moving with divine backing. Every word you speak in obedience becomes a seed of transformation. Every act of love becomes an echo of eternity. Every breath you take is another chance for heaven to touch earth through you. The time for doubt has passed. The excuses that once held you captive have no power anymore. You are not unworthy, you are chosen. You are not disqualified, you are destined. You are not behind, you are right on time. Everything you have lived through, every loss, every lesson, every leap of faith, has converged into this calling. God has prepared a table before you, and all you must do now is take your seat. Rise from the ashes of old identity. Shake the dust of fear from your feet. Lift your eyes to the horizon of destiny. The dawn has come, and it carries your name upon its light. Do not underestimate what one obedient heart can do. Nations have been changed by a single yes. Generations have been healed by one act of faith. You were born for impact beyond your imagination. When you speak, heaven listens. When you move, creation responds. When you love, darkness trembles. You are the evidence that God still chooses ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary purposes. You are the living testimony that grace still wins. The heavens are roaring your name not as a command but as a commissioning. Go where you are sent, not where you are comfortable. Speak what you are given, not what is safe. Live not for applause, but for alignment. And as you step forward, remember this. The fire that started in you was never meant to stay with you. It is meant to spread, to ignite, to awaken. Every place your foot touches will feel the pulse of heaven's heartbeat. Every heart you encounter will sense the echo of eternity. This is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of your movement. The world is watching, but more importantly, heaven is cheering. Rise, chosen one. The sky is open, the earth is ready, and the time is now. The world is waiting for the sound of your obedience, the light of your faith, and the fire of your calling. Move boldly. Move humbly. Move heaven on earth.